Hey. Yeah, we got a lot to go over. Let's just go. Let's get it. You want to save the college stuff for later? I love it, man.
I know. It's fine.
Yeah. Here we go. What's going on? Happy Tuesday. Wow, man, on a special edition.
Special edition of SWB. I'm so happy to be back. I feel like I haven't been home in so long.
It's been a minute.
Guys.
It's been a minute. Like I promised yesterday, Lauren Leal is back with us today. So super excited to have her on the show. Got a lot to go over today. We are over here at Christian's Tailgate, 2000 Bagby over here in Midtown. We're about to have a blast for an hour. Come down here, get your drink on, get your eat on. The place is amazing, and obviously, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thanksgiving Day is coming up. That means some games are coming up on Thanksgiving. We'll be talking about those and maybe a coach that is going to be playing his last game or not at all.
There will be a coaching change for sure. Hinted towards it yesterday if you watched the show yesterday. But, yeah, man, we're excited about the show today. There's a lot going on, as we said. First of all, I don't know if you have seen this or not. I had mentioned it right before we started. Did you see this $50 bet?
No.
This is insane.
What's the $50 bet?
This guy placed a bet $50 at let's see, it was at the Bet MGM $50 parlay.
Okay.
15-team parlay.
Okay.
That he won $1,133,530.
What? Seriously?
$50 bet. $1.3 million.
My goodness.
15-team parlay. Check this out. That included the Vegas Golden Knights, Cal State Fullerton, Rhode Island, UConn, Miami, Ohio, Wake Forest, Michigan State, Atlanta Hawks, Colorado Avalanche, Washington Capitals, the New England Patriots, Houston, Oklahoma, Jin Young, which is golf, and the Baltimore Ravens.
So we're just throwing in all sports out there.
All sports, a six-day 15-team parlay bet.
That's crazy.
$50, $1.3 million this guy won. I've never seen a bet like that.
Who's this guy? Give me his number. I need you to place some bets for me. Obviously, you have the luck and you know what you're doing, boy.
Yeah, and BetMGM is the ones that posted this. Obviously, great for their site, great for gambling, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they kept his name.
Oh, of course. They're like, oh, this guy won, so can you. Come give us your money.
Yeah.
But, Jeff,
unbelievable.
First and foremost, you come out with this crazy story. I haven't seen you since last week, okay? You know what happened last weekend?
Cowboys lost?
The Cougars beat down the Memphis Tigers 31-13. You did not text me. Were you at the game?
Well, I was not at the game. I know you were. And I
was like, he's going to text me for tickets. He's going to. He never texted me.
In the second quarter, Memphis looked like they were going to stay in the game, and then they were not.
No, they didn't.
So,
and it was a long first quarter with that hurt from Mutin. Very sad. He's okay now. He's in concussion protocol. But, yeah, I just had to ask you about that.
Yeah, Houston did beat Memphis.
Because I haven't talked to you since.
Yeah, you've been busy. The show's been busy without you. Sad.
I know. But I'm happy to be back.
Lauren is back. Look, today's show brought to you by Smarter Mortgage. Call David Carrier at 281-650-0648. Mention SWB. Get a free quote ASAP. That's David Carrier over there at Smarter Mortgage. He wants to put you in a home.
Kevin Anthony says, still rent-free talking about the Cowboys. Hey, it's that time, it's the time of year. It's NFL, but it's also Thanksgiving, who always plays on Thanksgiving? The Cowboys at home in Arlington. And, now that I think about it, who's performing at halftime? That's always a big talk, right?
I don't know. I'll be passed out probably.
I feel so short. Normally we're sitting down right now. I feel so short next to you. How tall are you, Jeff?
I'm 6 even. 6 even. 6
Give
even.
me some of those knees.
6 even. Legs. 190 to 210, depending on the month.
Depending on the month.
This month it'll be a clean 210 for sure. It's the holidays, so no, I'm just kidding. I'm not 210. That's man. Danny Sims, hello from Arkansas, man. What's going down?
Hey, Danny.
Yeah, Arkansas had an incredible football team, college football team at the very beginning of the year. Obviously, they fell off. They're ranked 25th right now, below U of H Cougars at 24 right now, in the top 25 in the NCAA basketball, or I'm sorry, in football. But we'll see what happens. Go Arkansas. Thank you for paying attention to us and watching.
Yes, thank you so much. I know, unfortunately, Arkansas did lose this weekend, but we'll get into those college football rankings here in just a little bit. But let's start out with the high school spotlight, brought to you by VYPE.com and VYPE Media. Go there to check out all of your high school sports news. And I was actually earlier talking to some high school football or high school volleyball coaches that are here tonight at Christian Tailgate. They know all about VYPE. It's great. Spread the word about VYPE. They are awesome about their high school. No, they're not coaching. They were having some brewskis, but they're not coaching. All right, let's get into the high school spotlight. And you know what time of year it is too, besides Cowboys time? It's high school football playoffs time.
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit yesterday. There's some great teams coming in. Yeah, North Shore still in it, as Enrique mentioned yesterday.
Yep.
Right. And so we're looking here at Tompkins versus North Shore. This is the regional round before going into the quarterfinals for 6A Division I. And then on the other end of that, you got Ridgepoint versus Atascocita. Whoever wins out of those two games will be going in for the Region 3. For the Region 1, you got Trinity versus Allen and South Lake Carroll versus Louisville. And then whoever wins those will play either the winner of Tompkins North Shore or Ridgepoint Atascocita.
Enrique got invited to be the mascot again at the North Shore.
Yeah.
How fun!
Yeah.
Wait,
I'll be there. I'll be there Friday.
Do you mascot throughout the season?
I used to, but right now because I'm working nonstop. So every time I get a free time, I just go
gotta
back.
make the money.
It would
Oh,
be
yeah.
weird
Gotta pay
because
the bills.
we see him sitting down and relaxed or whatever. If he was in what's the North Shore?
The Mustang.
Mustang.
Yeah.
Running around all energetic in a Mustang costume would be interesting.
You know what? I want to see this.
Yeah.
Jeff is totally right because Enrique's chill, easy going. Yeah, let's do a mic check. 1, 2, 3. We're good to go. I've got to see you hyped up in this mascot suit.
Come on down. I'll be there.
We got a shout out.
Are
to
you
Enrique.
running up? Do you jump on the fences?
Well, I can't jump that high. I'm 5'3". I'm 5'3", but I am running around.
Dude, you got to tackle the other mascot for me.
Sometimes the mascots are they're by the book. I don't go by the book that much. I'm whatever it goes.
There's a mascot book?
Yes. There's a
code,
mascot book.
A code of context.
Yes.
Code of conduct between mascots.
It's real laughing, but it's real.
Yes, it's a real thing.
Because it's a real job. You look at the Rockets clutch. You look at Toro for the Texans. You have Orbit for they're real jobs.
Yeah.
They're real jobs.
I just didn't know there was a code of conduct.
Yeah, there's a code of conduct and everything.
Wow, awesome. Well, we'll have to see if Enrique suits up. We'll try to get you video of that. Enrique got a shout out by Kevin Anthony. He says, "What up, dog?" To Enrique. What's up, Ashley? Watching the show from the house.
What's up, Ashley? Hey.
All right, y'all. Let's get to it.
All right.
I'm ready.
Let's get into the rundown. And this is going to be brought to you by Hybrid Technology Group. Whenever it comes to reliability, they are the ones that you need. Just look below and you'll see their banner. Give Roy Stanton a call at 832-336-1201 if you want to get your hands on reliable phones, cable services, surveillance cameras, and cloud services. They got you covered. That is Hybrid Technologies Group. Now it is time to get into the rundown. All right. I don't know why. I just was like, you know what? I'm going to spice it up today.
That Red Bull is kicking in.
It is. No, I honestly have not eaten much today because I can tell you on another occasion.
Just
but
Thanksgiving's Thursday?
No.
You got to save up some room?
Yeah. I
got to save up some room for the bowls.
Right before this, I'm talking on the phone to Ashley, going over Thanksgiving, what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, maybe dressing up. I'm like, no. I'm wearing sweatpants
yes.
and a hoodie. And
No.
I've got to have some room. I have to have flexibility. I'm not wearing tight pants and dressing up.
But what if you put a shirt like this on and then your sweatpants?
I guess pictures, I can do that. I can do that.
From top
it's a
up.
pass. It's a pass.
To top up. You're
need
picture
to
ready.
be cozy. It's eat, pass out, and football in the middle. That's what Thanksgiving's about, right? Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
No,
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Yep. Mila says yes.
Just be safe. Just be safe with all the eating and all that.
Danny,
Don't choke up.
Before we get into it, Danny Sims says, how's the new home?
Oh, it's good. Thank you, Danny. We're new in our new apartment right now and getting settled in. It's, I I'm not used to adding another 5 or 10 minutes onto my commute times to different places. And so that's what I'm having to do and get used to. But we are finally getting settled in.
That's rough.
Yes.
Like 5-10 minutes commute.
No. In addition to what it normally is.
It's like a quarter mile in Houston, So. Especially today, the traffic, because not a lot of people have work.
This morning was awful.
Don't get out there on the roads right now, but let's get after it in the rundown.
Yes, thank you for asking, Danny. Appreciate it. Okay, let's get to it. Adrian Peterson, no longer a Tennessee Titan. He's been in the league for 14 seasons now, or has 14 years of experience, rather. And he was waived by the Titans today. Deontay Foreman will take his place, which he was doing better than him in general on the ground for the Titans. And I just ask you, after the Vikings for all those years, New Orleans, Washington, and now the Titans, is he done?
No, he's going to the Rams. Why not?
Why not?
I mean,
I feel like this is the Lakers we're talking about.
Exactly.
Just throw him over there. Just throw him in LA.
And when this broke, I laughed about it like you guys did, but it probably makes sense for him. I mean, there's a shot for him to go to a
this is a legit. There. You legit think this will happen?
I don't think that he's done this year because there's a lot of need for running backs right now. Running backs are all hurt, and it's later on in the season, so you always need another one. I think he joins a contender, a top 5 contender for sure. I joke about the Rams, but I mean, he could be. I mean, Henderson's a great running back to have, but something happens to him. I mean, AP is obviously serviceable. He wants to win a Super Bowl, so I'm sure there's a Super Bowl team. I mean, look, even the Packers right now, Aaron Jones is hurt. They could pick up Peterson. There's all sorts of places for him to go contending-wise, so not the Cowboys. So.
Speaking specifically about the Rams, though, we saw what happened when OBJ got picked up there, and they're already a loaded star-studded team, and they lost that game.
Yeah.
The game after they picked him up. So I just imagine, okay, we need to hold off on signing guys just for backup because I don't know. That's just kind of a hypothetical right
We'll
there.
see where he goes. To answer your question, I think that he still wants to play football. It's obvious he joined the team this year. He thought he was going to have – but he kept in shape. He thought he was going to the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, he scored a touchdown on his first game being picked up by the Titans on the 7th of November. So who knows? You said he still has that in him. He's 36 years old.
Yeah. Like I said, I think somebody will sign him.
That's old, but for football,
For football, for running backs, that is ancient. Running backs have 4 or 5 years shelf life in the NFL, and that's on a good year.
How old is Zeke? 30?
Zeke, 29, 30. Ask Kevin. Kevin, how old is Zeke?
Kevin Anthony, tell us. Yeah, all the Cowboys information. Tell us about it.
Boy on the Cowboys. So, right. I think AP will get picked up. I joke about the Rams, but I mean, it might be a good landing spot for him because it would give him a chance to maybe go to a Super Bowl.
Well, I like it how you threw in Green Bay in there because we know Aaron Rodgers is toe right now. And it would be easier to hand it off in that situation, too.
Chase Edmonds is hurt for Arizona. Peterson, is familiar with Arizona, so that could be another landing spot. Any one of the top 5, 7 contenders, I think AP could probably go to.
Or he just doesn't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. Yeah. I'll have my top 10 NFL teams coming up in a little bit as well.
All right, next we'll move on. We'll stick with the NFL, but we'll move on to the next topic in the rundown in the NFL, and that is going to the Chicago Bears. Ooh. Matt Nagy allegedly was told today that he is not going to be coaching past Thursday's game versus the Lions, but he rejected any speak of this to the media. He said he has not talked to the owner, the president, or the general manager about the release or being fired rather from the organization. Now, the Bears have lost 5 straight games. Okay. 5. Justin Fields isn't out there because he's hurt. Andy Dalton has stepped in, and they just lost to the Ravens on Sunday, 16-13, in which the Ravens looked like they could have lost that game too. Yeah. But Matt Nagy's record with the Bears is 12-4. He's had 1 playoff appearance. He's 8-8 in both 19 and in 20. What do you think comes of this? If they win on Thanksgiving Day versus the Lions, which is probable. Very, very likely, right?
That's a rough one, too.
Then does he stay?
That game in general, doesn't jump off the board at anybody. That's a terrible football game. I said it yesterday that Matt Nagy would probably be on the hot seat, and then it came out today that he's been informed that he will be let go. The Chicago Bears have never fired a coach midseason, which is very interesting that they would let Matt Nagy go right in the middle of the season. That's, they don't have Khalil Mack.
right before the holidays.
They have a rookie quarterback right for the holidays. He's still getting paid, I'm sure. It's holidays will be just fine. Everybody's getting presents over there at the Nagy household. But, Chicago, it depends. If the fan base, wants him gone. I mean, apparently they last night at the Chicago Bulls game, they were screaming fire Nagy at the basketball game. So the fan base has turned on him. And I don't want to say it's unfair for Nagy, but it looks like it's heading downhill for him, and they just didn't want to fire him on a short week.
My question is, if he knows all of this, how is he supposed to get up there, prepare his team, and say, okay, we're going to go out and win this football on Thanksgiving Day. We're taking down the line. Like, I just feel like your brain, like you are not there. How are your players going to be there?
Well, I mean, if I was a betting man, I would look at the line on this. I'm going to look it up real quick because I think I might take Detroit to win their first game.
There you go again.
He always takes the underdog. And you know what, lately, though, Enrique? It's been working out in his favor.
Yeah, it's been working out.
Because this has been a crazy, crazy season with the Chiefs now bouncing back to looking like their old ways, but they went down. The Bills, another team, is looking very confused with their identity. And anyways, that's a whole nother conversation.
Vegas agrees with what you're saying. Because it's only Chicago minus 3 points. That's crazy. That is insane that the Lions are only +3 at home for Thanksgiving with their record and everything. So I think Vegas agrees with you. He's lost the locker room.
It's crazy to say that.
That's it.
It's crazy to say that, though, Jeff, when you think about their 3-point favorites and they've lost 5 straight games.
Yeah, well, the Lions are worse.
Well, the Lions haven't won any.
Yeah,
they could have won.
Yeah, they could have won.
It was a scratch against the Steelers, right?
Yeah, the Lions have had a very interesting season as only Detroit could. So I would actually take the Lions to win Thanksgiving game at home. I see that because Nagy has lost the locker room. The defense isn't playing well. Khalil Mack's out for the season. Justin Fields is hurt. Their wide receivers are bouncy. You take Mooney away from that team, and it's just, that's it.
There's nothing to the team. Let's just say it right there. But it would be a good early Christmas present for the Lions.
Oh, yeah, for the whole fan base and everything. And David Montgomery, obviously, just got back from a little injury. So, he's a lone bright spot there for the Chicago Bears. But, that's not a real interesting game for a lineup on Thanksgiving that you want to put out there. The NFL at the very beginning of the year probably put out there and thought Detroit always plays, but they lined up the Chicago Bears with them. And, yeah, it looks like a very, very bad football game right now.
While we're on this right now, let's just switch gears here to Sunday's games because of the switching of the games. Like you said, some interesting matchups. Yep. Well, the AFC West is going to have their matchup moved down to Sunday night in prime time. It was flexed, so it'll be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos, and I assume that's following the Cowboys win. And so on and so forth, just more interesting. NFC West was going to be in that slot with the Seahawks versus the 49ers. They already played once this season, right?
I'll have
the Seahawks versus the 49ers. I believe they did a couple weeks ago, but that is getting bumped up to the afternoon game. So those are some switches that are going to be happening. It'd be cool if the Chiefs and the Broncos could play on Thanksgiving rather than the Bears and the Lions.
The college football playoff schedule just got released, and we are about to get into
Let's
it.
Go. Let's do
it. It just came out.
I have predictions right here, so let's see if we are correct with them. I know that Oklahoma did fall a couple weeks ago after losing to Baylor, but they just did win over Iowa State.
So Georgia stays number 1. Ohio State goes to 2. Alabama number 3. And at number 4, Cincinnati. Interesting. They move into the top 4 for the playoffs. Michigan number 5.
I had a feeling Cincinnati was going to move up.
Michigan's number 5, but of course, this all comes down to this game this weekend. I cannot wait for this. You got number 2 Michigan, number 5 Michigan going into number 2 Ohio State, and I think Ohio State should win this football game, but man, that's going to be a great football game to watch. I mean, if Michigan wins that game, they're in the college football playoff, hands down.
Speaking of Michigan State is all the way at number 12. Baylor is number 8. University of Houston Cougs at number 24. That's awesome to hear and see. I'm surprised at Clemson number 23 with how they started out the season. Aren't they now? They're now 8-3.
Yeah, they've actually played pretty good football. At the preseason polls, they were up there, but they fell tremendously. But yeah, they've actually played really good football the last 5-6 weeks. So Clemson's back in the top 25. Great for them. But now it's all about the top 4, the college football playoffs. And here you go this weekend. Number 5, Michigan at Ohio State. Number 2, incredible football game coming up. And if you're a Notre Dame fan, you're sitting right there on the outside. You're praying for something. You're praying for an Ohio State loss. You want, and you're praying for Cincinnati to lose. It's going to be tough for them. If you're a Cincinnati fan, don't be shocked if you're not in the playoffs. I mean, you are right now, but if they don't put Notre Dame in, it's going to be a shocker because of TV value for, it's going to be interesting. Really, really interesting to see what happens. This weekend is a huge weekend in college football. And like I said, Cincinnati East in there right now at number 4. Interesting.
Cincinnati plays East Carolina this weekend. And so that'll be before the championship game. We'll see if East Carolina can pull an upset.
Do you know how bad the network is pulling for East Carolina? I mean, they are.
You want to know why? You want to know why?
What?
Because if East Carolina wins, that means the championship game is going to be Cincinnati Cougars at TD-ECU Stadium in Houston. It's not going to be at Cincinnati. Now, if they do win, it officially will be in Cincinnati.
Well, I was thinking more long-term, and they want Notre Dame in there for the college football playoffs. You're thinking U of H-wise, but look, the network wants Cincinnati out of there because obviously you'll have Notre Dame probably going into there at 4, which would make the college football playoffs really, really fun to watch. I just don't – Cincinnati, look, I love their unbeaten. I really do, but it's in a weak conference. And they're not as good as Alabama. They're not as – Ohio State would probably beat them by 70. Georgia, they wouldn't score a point on.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though the 10-0 record is
impressive,
fun to look at,
yeah,
I just don't know about them playing those big schools. Way to go. They squeezed in there at number 4. But, yeah, everybody that lives outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, is rooting for East Carolina.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
So,
we'll see what happens this weekend. It'll be a fun weekend of college football. All right, let's move on to our next rundown, and that is taking it over to the baseball bats. The MLB Hall of Fame ballot was released, and the 30-player ballot headlined by the big names is their 10th and final year that is on the ballot, and we're talking about Curt Schilling, Barry Bonds, and Roger Clemens. Now, some of the big names that were released for the 2022 Hall of Fame ballot first-timers were Alex Rodriguez and David Ortiz, Big Papi, but alongside those are Carl Crawford, Prince Fielder, Ryan Howard, Tim Lincecum, thank you so much. Justin, I haven't honestly read through these much, but
I put it on
anyone
there
stand out for you?
Yeah, I put it on there because I wanted to get your thoughts on, because it's A-Rod's first. We touched on this yesterday because it came out right before the show came on. A-Rod, there's no possible way he gets in, right? Because you've got Bonds and Clemens sitting there in their last year of eligibility, and they're not in.
Mm-hmm.
And this A-Rod was the center of the steroid confusion like that. He was the
Clemens was part of that too.
Yeah, but A-Rod was the one that lied. He got busted by the feds. He was the one in the book.
He's also still back in the media doing every World Series.
Yes, so we talked about that yesterday.
So
how is Carlos Correa and Altuve getting blasted for cheating on the sign stealing scandal? But A-Rod is at the front and center of a steroid era, and he's on TV having a blast. So I think
Jeffy, you bring up a good point.
Man, Enrique and I touched on it yesterday, but A-Rod has no shot.
I want to count him out, Jeff.
I would. He's out. He's out.
He's
out.
Let me back up.
You can't not let Barry Bonds in and let A-Rod. That would be physically impossible.
I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying. However, these days it is a popularity contest. It's not so much right or wrong, this or that. And as you just stated, two completely different accusations, whatever you want to call them, lies about steroids versus the sign stealing scandal, cheating,
both of them
cheating, right? All two different kinds. It's about the here and now.
Yeah,
and the here and now A-Rod is popular. He's in the media. He's with Fox. He's with the broadcasting
Dating
team.
J-Lo. Well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Go Ben.
But
Bennifer.
Bennifer. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Bennifer. Okay. No, but I just, I wouldn't completely count it out. I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, that's not possible. But I could see, honestly, a situation where like Clemens and A-Rod.
Well, like I said, Barry Bonds should be in there. A Hall of Fame without Barry Bonds is just, it's not even a real Hall of Fame. I wouldn't think so. Same thing with Pete Rose. But look, those are my opinions. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that share my opinions. And I also share the other, opinions. And you bring up a point about popularity that I said yesterday about nobody says anything about Big Papi because he's so popular.
Everyone's love Big Papi.
Yeah, they don't accusations of steroids, nothing, zero with him. So Papi,
oh my gosh, all you heard was Papi, and behind the crowd during every World Series, during the whole run, no matter what stadium they were in.
So I'm assuming Papi probably gets in. We'll go over the list of those later, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on A-Rod and see what happens with him. But I say he doesn't, but
you never know.
Yet to be seen.
You never know. And the ceremony will take place in Cooperstown, July 24th next year, so 2022. All right, let's move on to the next rundown. And you have this one in here, the Rockets' 15-game losing streak. So they are, it's ouch. And I just wanted to ask you this because I was speaking about this with some of my other colleagues, with Steven Silas. Obviously, in their 2 years, all in new administration in there as far as the general manager too. And is it time to say, okay, you're on the hot seat, dude. This is too much. You had a 20-game losing streak last season. This year, I want to say it's the beginning of the season. It still is kind of the beginning of the season. You shouldn't be starting out this way. And you do have a lot of 19, 20-year-old young guys playing for you. However, you got to scrape by with at least 3, 4, 5 wins, not just one.
Here's the bigger problem. The guy you're paying $44 million this year to sits on your bench and travels with you. John Wall. He sits on the Rockets bench.
John Wall is a ball hog.
He's a veteran. They would have 4 or 5 wins if John Wall was playing. 100%, if not more. John Wall sits on $44 million and sits on your bench. And I for the life of me, don't understand what they're doing with that whole situation. I don't even know if you get pennies on the dollar for him anymore. I don't know what's going on with the Rockets. The Rockets' number one highest paid players on the bench, and so is the Texans. So if you're a Houston Texans fan or a Rockets fan, it is really rough times for you right now. But watching $44 million sit on that bench night in and night out, and you have a 15-game losing streak, I mean, you've got to be pretty pissed.
So is that a coaching issue?
No, he wants to be traded. He wants to go somewhere.
But what you have on the court?
I said the Rockets would be up there in the playoffs and maybe even champions at 24 and 25, and I still believe that. I mean, young teams go through this. This is a
growing pain season for sure.
This is what happens when you're rebuilding, and your number one player, most expensive player, is on the bench. I mean, this is just what happens. Like I said, if John Wall was out there, he'd be leading these kids and showing them a little something. But they're just trying to learn on their own. And this is the result. 15 games lost. John Wall sits there and collects $44 million. $44 million. Whoa.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about that twice.
Whoa.
That guy that gave up $50 and got $1 million. Well, imagine 44 of them.
44. He should have bet 200. John Wall.
No, I was just curious if you thought it was time for his hot seat. But you have the Rockets on the rundown for a different reason. Why don't you go into that for a minute?
What the Rockets on what?
You just, have them on an epic run.
Yeah, that was the 15-game losing streak.
Oh, okay. All right.
Epic losing streak. Sorry.
Epic losing streak. I'll be there tomorrow night. They face the Celtics, which this guy is up next in the rundown. Enes Kanter.
Whoa.
Oh,
yes.
Whoa.
What a topic, right? So the Boston Celtics aren't even aired in China right now because of what he said about children's slavery due to Nike shoes.
Well, and LeBron James.
LeBron James. Yeah. So let's get into
He topped that today.
What?
He topped it today.
So, let's get into it. So, like I said, he spoke about the Nike thing a couple months ago or so. Now he's coming out and saying Michael Jordan hasn't done nothing for the Black community.
This was
yesterday. Besides giving them money. And then he went on to say he cares too much about his shoe sales all over the world and America.
I was on Enes Kanter's side yesterday with the LeBron James thing, about his social justice. He had problems with that. And then LeBron came out and said, hey, look, he's just trying to get fame on my name, whatever. Now he comes out and says this about MJ, and it's like, okay, now you stepped on too many toes, man. Somebody shut off his Twitter because this dude's lost his mind. Like, I mean, enough is enough. Like,
look, I have supported his statements about the child slavery with Nike.
Yeah.
I support that because this is not the first conversation I've had about it with people and the truth to it. But as far as he doesn't support talking about MJ not supporting the Black community and then going further to say all he cares about is his shoe sales, he's done a lot for the community.
I think MJ's probably done a lot of his career for a lot of people. Like to call out one of the greatest ambassadors of the game is very, very, like, he's drinking. Like, it's holidays. Slow down, Cantor. Slow.
Yes, Danny.
Down.
MJ is a good guy.
Yeah,
I agree.
Unbelievable Enes Kanter. But people are gonna have their opinions on both LeBron and MJ and whether Enes Kanter's right or wrong. But this is a political thing. We don't like to get into politics on this show, but I just thought it was, just ballsy of him. Ballsy of him just to start throwing this stuff out there. But that's what the freedom of speech is all about. That's what social media is. Yeah.
And that's why LeBron will just elbow you and get you your face all bloody too. Who will not be playing tonight or whenever their next game is.
I'm glad you brought that up. And yesterday we talked. He had a 1-game suspension, and the sad part is that he's suspended for tonight's game in Madison Square Garden in New York. And there's a lot of fans that I'm not a LeBron fan, but there are people out there that are. And it's their only trip to Madison Square Garden this year, and they suspended him. They should have suspended him for a home game where there's 41 home games. Like, they won't miss him there. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks that in New York and Madison Square Garden that LeBron has to sit out, and those people that wanted to see him no longer get a chance to see him. And I just wish they would have held that off until he got home.
Boo-hoo. All right. That's all I have to say about that. Like, sorry. You know what? It is what it is. Players have to sit out all the time due to COVID protocols, due to injury, and now due to instances like this.
But, business standpoint, don't sit him out the one game that you're visiting Madison Square Garden. At least say, oh, he's appealing it. Let him sit out a home game. There's 41 home games. Let him sit out one of those.
You're kind of like saying, like, oh, it's an award show. Like, don't make them miss that. Miss something smaller.
Well, no, it's for the fans, right? So imagine if this was in Cleveland or not Cleveland. He's from there. They've seen him a lot. Like, if this was anywhere else, like Milwaukee, these kids that some people idolize LeBron. They buy tickets to see him, and he only comes there one time a year, and they suspend him for that game. Don't do that. Wait till he gets home. He plays 41 home games a year. Suspend him for one of those.
Yeah, we'll see. Sorry about those kids. Okay, let's move on to the next and final rundown, and that is the Tampa Bay Rays signing a huge contract extension to shortstop Wander Franco.
Who? This was crazy. You know how many days this guy's been in the majors?
I said his name correctly.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I was like, it scared me. I was like, what?
I brought it up because do you know how long he played in the majors this year? Not even 3 months. And how much did he get?
So here's the deal. It's 11-year with another year option and up to 85 mil, and then 85 mil for the 11 years, and then up to 223. He's 20 years old.
What? He played for 3 months, and this guy got a $225 million contract.
So you know why this happened when it did? He was up for arbitration talks in 20.
I need to get my son a bat right now. Like a baseball bat. I'm going to sit him down to.
Shoot, if you want your kid to make money in sports, put him in golf.
Yeah, golf or baseball. But I'm going to ship him to the Dominican Republic with a baseball bat. And
I join him. I'll go.
Here you go, man. These guys, man, they know how to play baseball. But it's crazy. He's 20 years old and only played that many games in the majors. And I guess the scouts for Tampa Bay love this kid because, whoa.
Yeah, well, so here's the deal. He wasn't supposed to be in arbitration talks until 2024. They went ahead and moved all of this up, and he wasn't going to be a free agent until 27. But that was under the current collective bargaining agreement, which ends December 1st. So that's why they pushed the envelope and said, you know what, we're already going to do this with this kid. We don't want whatever is going to happen after my birthday to happen.
Interesting.
Your
birthday?
Yeah, December 1st.
Oh, had to just throw that out there. Huh? All right, all you fans out there, Lauren,
little hint.
What's your address?
I ain't giving that out. You can find me right here at Christian's Tailgate off Bagby, Mondays and Thursdays.
Yep.
But yeah, so that's just a little bit crazy. We're talking about shortstops. Carlos Correa obviously has been the floating name. Where is he going to go? Where is he going to land? How much is it going to be for? And he's trying to get up to Francis Lindor. Well, this guy, got kind of close. The 20-year-old.
20-year-old with a contract that big. Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
Get this. So he hit .288 with 7 homers and 39 RBIs last season. Finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting, and he stepped up his game in the postseason this year, batting .368 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs in 4 games.
That's a hell of a stat line for $225 million, and that's third. What does the first place Rookie of the Year get? I mean, if third place gets $225 million, first place what, $400 or $500 million? They just handing out money in baseball.
Who was Rookie of the Year this year? Something we have to look up.
It was what's his name for the Rays? The Rosarina.
You're right.
Even though that's his 4th year of the majors. I swear to you, I'm not lying. It's like his 3rd or 4th year in the majors. He won Rookie of the Year.
Well, yeah, I remember he killed us in one postseason talking about the Astros.
Yeah.
All right.
Randy Rosarina is an incredible talent. So whether it was Rookie of the Year or because we all know the NL MVP was an absolute joke. Bryce Harper, what?
I don't know what happened there.
I don't either.
Whoa!
I mean, this is all based on the regular season, not the postseason, but still.
What was that? I don't understand at all. But whatever. It is what it is.
All right, let's move on to some NFL. Brought to you by Construction Concepts.
Let's hear it. I want to hear the jam first.
Thursday, let's do it.
All right, NFL brought to you by Construction Concepts. Who's changing corporate culture one design at a time, from hospitality to corporate luxury retail and medical facilities. Their team of experts can update, create a space that exceeds your expectations. 713-589-2682 or build it Houston and Austin and Dallas.com. But it is just build it Houston.
They can do it anywhere.
Yeah, they got a lot going on. Let's get to it, man. I'm ready to talk football.
All right, let's go. It is only Tuesday night, so we're going to recap last night's games. The Bucks won it over the Giants 30-10, and what a snooze fest it was in the second half because Tom Brady did his thing. But the Giants were giving him some trouble in the beginning, 17-10 leading into the half, which was like, okay, are the Giants actually going to pull this out? Are they going to do something? Well, no. Once again, they won 30-10, and now the Giants sit 3-7. The Bucks 7-3. They snapped their 2-game losing streak, and I can just go on and on about this game. But Jeff, what were your thoughts watching?
The Daniel Jones experiment is over.
Yeah,
I think
Agree.
so. Man, look. So Daniel Jones came out of Duke. He was 6th in the draft. 6th. That's pretty high up there, and he had less than a 60% completion rate in the ACC in a pretty weak conference. But they thought pretty highly of him. Daniel Jones comes out, goes to New York Giants. They get Saquon Barkley in there. They think, wow, we've got something brewing, which everybody thought, maybe they do. Saquon, injury prone, we get it. He looked decent last night coming off his other injury. So Daniel Jones looked horrible. And it's terrible that the statement of his career is going to be just falling over himself on an 80-yard run. Like, that's just what everybody remembers, right? And it's just sort of Daniel Jones's career. And look, I don't know who else to blame this on. Now, today the Giants did fire their offensive coordinator, the incredible head coach of the Dallas Cowboys a few years ago.
Jason Garrett is now out. Freddie Kitchens is going to be stepping in those shoes on an offensive coordinator for the Giants.
We'll see if that maybe kickstart them a little bit. But, man, the greatest part about last night, because I was watching it on ESPN, and then it was a boring game.
No, you weren't.
It was a boring
game. You were watching it on Fox.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That I turned, it got so boring, so I went to the Manning cast. And
Kevin Hart.
And I completely forgot that Eli Manning is on the Manicast, obviously, ex-New York Giant quarterback.
Yeah.
Watching his face during the game was unbelievable. He was just devastated, like, because it was so bad. And and Peyton's going off. Peyton's like, laughing. Like, it was great. And Eli was just like, man, this is my old team. Like, and Daniel Jones. Oh, it was hurting him. You could tell. And Daniel Jones just could not get it together, man. Yeah. Screen passes. And this is coming off a bye week. The New York Giants just had a bye week. They have plenty of time to prepare. You can't do screen passes right, you're going to have some major, major problems. And we saw that last night. And I'm not giving credit to the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Tampa Bay Bucks were 7-3 last year. They're 7-3 this year. Same amount of points per game. Or I think it's only 29 last year, 31 this year. Same amount of points given up this year. They're not that great of a football team. This team is still lacking of running. Tom Brady still does his thing. But, man, look, they almost got beat last year in all of their playoff games, aside from the Super Bowl. So I don't look at Tampa Bay as this juggernaut team. Even with Tom Brady, he is 44 years old. They weren't that. They played a really bad New York Giants team.
Tom Brady's doing Tom Brady things. Last night he threw for 307 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception, which is starting to become a trend.
Yes.
He really is, starting to throw those picks, and that worries me about him. But you talk about Daniel Jones and how bad he was. Just listen to his stat line. 23 of 38, 167 yards. 167 yards, not 2. 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions.
Ugly.
Daniel Jones, you got to do better, my man. And so, as you mentioned earlier, Jason Garrett is now gone. What's going to happen to him? Is he going anywhere? Is anyone going to pick him up? I don't think New York was happy when they said, oh, you know what? We're getting Garrett from Dallas. Woo!
He was happy.
No, he's the only one. I don't think anyone else was.
I want to hear like Cowboys fans' reactions to this, because I'm sure they can't stand Jason Garrett. Like, Jason Garrett was not a good head coach at Dallas. He was not a good offensive coordinator in New York. I don't know where he lands. If he lands a job, maybe an assistant somewhere, maybe he stays in the league. I have no idea. But Jason Garrett was not a really good offensive play calling. Again, New York Giants coming off a bye week. They have plenty of time to prepare. Saquon Barkley's back and healthy, and they just crumbled. Like, it was hard to watch. And watching Eli Manning watch his old team was even more like, oh my God. It was watch the Manning cast, man. It is great.
I was watching a little bit of Bill Parcells and then Kevin Hart on there too. And they called him out on some stuff. And when he got suspended from a game to go to the stadium. And so that was really funny if you want to go back and watch that. But getting back to the Giants and Jason Garrett, he was there for less than 2 seasons. And they average, guys, so bad. 18.9 points per game this season, ranking 25th in the NFL. And then last season in 2020, they were 31st.
Kevin Anthony
with 17.5 points per game.
Kevin Anthony, Jason Garrett claps better than anybody in the game. So there you go. You remember all those memes about him coming out. I think he was with the Cowboys for about 3 years, so he didn't last that long.
Oh, I think more than that, huh?
3 or 4. It was a bad era for the Cowboys, I guess. But hey, look, the Cowboys are past that. They get a interesting matchup coming up this Thursday.
Oh, they sure do. They sure do. Especially trying to come off a win. Coming off of a loss, trying to get a win.
Yep.
Shoot, and Arrowhead. I actually had a friend of a friend that went out there and traveled to that game. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be so fun, because apparently it's like the loudest stadium in all of the NFL. And so I was like, oh, that's going to be awesome. And he's a huge, massive Dallas Cowboys fan.
Sure.
And what happened?
Yeah. Good.
All right, let's get into some of those Thursday games.
Wasted all that money. Don't waste your money on Thursday, just saying. Anyways.
Fitzroving.
Well, now I wanted to talk a little bit about this Baker Mayfield situation.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if anybody saw this right after Cleveland actually won the game, right? Yeah. Baker Mayfield's got 4 injuries. We touched on it a little bit yesterday. He comes out and says, he comes out and tells the fans, because they say, what do you think about the fans booing you? He comes out and says it's probably the same fans that are making noise while we're trying to run offensive plays, and that he doesn't care about them.
Right.
And then walks off the field without congratulating any of his teammates, whatever. Baker's got issues in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And Cleveland has issues in Cleveland. So.
And his wife has issues in Cleveland.
Yeah. I was going to bring
the players.
The off-field stuff with his wife and everything. Dude.
I didn't even know Baker was married.
Baker Mayfield cannot get out of his own way. his cocky attitude is destroying him. And he, he's a decent quarterback. He's a playoff quarterback. He beat the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, and he could be good, but is he a franchise quarterback? Maybe, but his attitude is I can't imagine. Let me see Cleveland's next home game because they're going to boo the crap out of him.
He's very, very boisterous, just very loud. And that's just who he's always been, even at Oklahoma. And then coming into the league and doing all of those commercials, having a great rookie season. And then that was kind of it, turning into an average quarterback, getting same old numbers, winning games, taking him the furthest they've ever gone since 96 last year in the divisional round. But at the same time, you got to have a guy that's going to rally behind you and a team that's going to rally for you. And right now, Baker's kind of going down that slope. His wife's words, I believe, were somewhat around the fact of, oh, your teammates aren't helping you or something like that.
She was trying to stick up for her husband, but she never should have gone to social media on that. These are big guys with big attitudes and big egos, and you cannot start slamming them on social media.
We talked about it when we did radio a couple weeks ago with Penny Sarver and Robert Sarver, and how she went after the former employees and saying, you're basically ruining my family. Well, all of that's come out now. It sucks. You're standing up by your man. You're standing by your man. You're standing by your family, but you can't do stuff like that.
No, not on social media, those guys. And, there's a lot of things going on in Cleveland. Their next home game, lucky for Baker, until they play Baltimore back-to-back. Now, in between that, they've got a bye week. They're in Baltimore, then they get a bye week, and then they are home against Baltimore.
Baltimore's another interesting team.
Yeah, for sure. And Baker, man, he needs to calm this down before he gets back on the field. They won the game, but he wasn't even close to 50%. And you've got Cleveland fans booing this guy. And I'm not sticking up for Cleveland or Baker Mayfield, but he was injured. He's got 4 separate injuries right now. I mean, the guy is 50%, if that, right? Case Keenum's his backup, and Baker's just a little bit better than Case Keenum at this point. So you might as well start Case Keenum this coming up game versus the Ravens. Let Baker rest for 2 weeks, and then let him be at home against the Ravens and see how he plays then, because they could still reach the playoffs, and Baker could turn this around. But if they lose to the Ravens twice, and then don't make the playoffs, it's going to be a rough offseason.
Well, remember a couple of months ago, I believe it was September or October, when the Texans traveled to Cleveland. That's whenever Baker went down with his torn labrum. So he was still trying to play the next week, and they were like, chill, bro, chill. Down. And he kept wanting to come back, I get that. You're like, I want to be there for my team. I want to fight for my team, but you got to listen to your body. Otherwise, you're not going to ever be able to play.
Yeah, he needs to sit out this next week. I mean, he's got heel issues, rib issues, shoulder issues, head issues. I mean, look, just sit Baker. They got a bye week. Let him rest. Maybe they can make a run for the playoffs if they win their last 3 out of their last 4 or 4 out of their last 5. They'd be 10-7, something like that. That gives them a chance to make the playoffs. That whole situation in Cleveland needs to calm down before he gets himself into real big trouble.
Yeah, and as you alluded to before with the backup quarterback in Case Keenum, he's done pretty well with the team. And you know who else has done pretty well with being a backup quarterback for Kyler Murray? Colt McCoy, 2-1 being backup QB. So let these backup quarterbacks just do their thing while you get your rest, because we want you healthy, obviously. You're the QB1.
Yeah, most of the quarterbacks in the league at this point of the season are injured. None of them going to the playoffs real fully healthy. You got Aaron Rodgers hurt. You got Kyler Murray hurt. You've got Dak Prescott, running around limping. You've got every one of them hurt. So nobody's 100% at this point. Let him rest a little bit.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, does Jordan Love get a start?
No.
I don't think so either.
No,
I don't think so either.
Even though Aaron's hurting, I don't think Jordan Love gets in there. We
saw what he did when he wasn't there.
A really bad experiment. I would put Daniel Jones in there for Jordan Love.
Yeah, but getting back to Baker Mayfield, just zip it.
Yeah, calm down,
and just
go home, and you and your wife have a good Thanksgiving. Get into the bye week, and just stop talking to the Browns fans, man. You don't do that, man, because they're loud, and I'm sure. And now it's all in the media, so they're gonna hear it. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets booed. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets booed in Cleveland on December 12th.
I mean, those fans are brutal too.
Yeah, that's
in
what
Cleveland.
I'm saying. Yeah, there's gonna he turned away a big part of his fan base. Because there's Baker Mayfield mania over there, and a lot of people like him. But now the people that were on the fence, they're not on the fence anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They are not Baker Mayfield fans, and he's going to hear it at that game.
All right, let's get into some of those Thursday games, rather.
Yeah, let's go. Thursday afternoon games. happy Thanksgiving from all of us here. And Man Thursday football is coming up, brought to you by Fitz Roofing. Fitz Roofing, make a difference, serving people, driven by our philanthropic commitment to the community, focused on building relationships, not just revenue. They're doing my roof. They're an incredible roofing company, commercial, residential, whatever. They got your shingles.
Why did I think you were going to say Philip Lindsay? Because he was just released from the Texans. I thought you were trying. I don't know why you were saying that. Okay.
Driven by Philip Lindsay and the commitment to the community. That's Fitz,
Nice.
Fitz Roofing, FITZroofing.com. All right, let's go, man.
All
Thursday,
right.
Thanksgiving Day football, massive tradition, obviously. Here.
Oh, yeah. Get your turkey, your potatoes, your
God.
stuffing, and you watch the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
That's what you do because it's Thanksgiving. And
first of all, I gotta
it's weird because I normally do say, oh, Jason Garrett, the Dallas Cowboys. No.
No, it's Dak Prescott. Not Mike McCarthy, the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys.
No one has got behind Mike McCarthy and you know
what I'm
what?
saying.
This is our coach. This is our guy. This is going to be our man.
It's Dak.
Nope. It's Dak. It's Dak for sure.
Dak is the coach over there.
But then again, who says that much about the coaches?
Not
Maybe Kyle
only-
Shanahan? I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay, anyways.
Not only do I have to sit through a terrible Detroit-Chicago game, but then I got to watch the Cowboys. Like, I mean, this is like, this food, Ashley, the food better be amazing. All right.
Oh, is she cooking? You're not cooking?
No, her mom is.
Okay, all right.
I am bringing
Then you
something.
do have to dress up. You got parents in the house. You got to dress up. You're not just one.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll bring a change of clothes. I'm going to do the Joey, you know. I need to have my
The
stretchy
Joey!
pants.
Are you going to put the turkey on your head?
Maybe. It depends on if there's a
Enrique,
little...
do you know what we're talking about?
No, not
Friends?
Really.
You ever watch Friends?
Oh,
He's so young.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean...
He's so young. I don't know if he
we
knows
gotta-
Friends.
We got to get him in the mascot outfit. Man.
Yes.
I need to see.
I've got
I
to
need
see this.
Yeah.
It's on point, man.
I know. Mascots are always running around like crazy. I want to see it.
Oh yeah, no, I go all out for it. Yeah, I go all out.
I can't
That's
wait.
awesome. All right, yeah, let's get to some of these games. So you mentioned Bears versus Lions. Lions still with no wins on the season, 9-1 with that tie, and then Bears are 3-7 as they just lost. So last night, we found out about Matt Nagy, and this could be his last game with the team.
Yeah, it will be.
Not really said anything about it. Justin Fields out, still Andy Dalton in. Is that the final word? I think. Not paying too much attention to it. Okay, let's go to the Raiders versus the Cowboys in Arlington.
What did you want me to? I mean, like, it's the Bears versus the Lions.
I
Like,
know.
unless John Madden came back and was doing the game, this game is not interesting nor important.
I know.
It is a really bad, and the NFL, it's a big day for them, Thanksgiving Day. It's sad that game is on the docket. At least it's the early game. Just a terrible football game all around, man. Fantasy football implications would be the only thing, right?
Pop bets?
Maybe start Andy Dalton against the 0-9 Lions defense. If you want somebody cheap to play in your daily fantasy or something like that. So that would be the only way I'd watch this game. I mean, Andy Dalton versus I don't know, man. That is an interesting football game.
All right, let's get on to the next one. That will be the afternoon game at 3:30. The Raiders versus the Cowboys. Now, the Raiders, we know, have had an up and down season. They're sitting straight at 500, 5-5. The Cowboys are coming off a loss, as we just mentioned, to Kansas City in Arrowhead. The Chiefs are looking like they're getting their swag back, but the Cowboys don't know what's going on with them. What I saw from the play calling and some of what I saw on the field, honestly, was Dak Prescott really not communicating with his players. Things just really seemed off. CeeDee Lamb was in concussion protocol. Lots of things going on with Dallas. Can they bounce back?
If they can get the run game going again, and if Zeke Elliott I would start Pollard, okay? Give Zeke some time to rest, too. You'll have a long week off because they play on a Thursday. They won't play till next Sunday. Zeke needs some rest, and without the running game, Dak Prescott has issues. We've seen that all year long. In all three of their losses, the run game goes out the window. Tony Pollard is explosive, and he does very, very well back there. I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Pollard gets more touches this game. Zeke's been limping the last 2 or 3 games. Now, on the flip side of that, on the outside, you've got the wide receiver issues. CeeDee Lamb still in concussion protocol. Not sure if he's going to come out of that in time to play this game, but the one thing we do know is Amari Cooper is out because of that COVID-19 positive test. So they will lose him in general. If they lose CeeDee Lamb too, they're in big trouble.
Do the Raiders stand a chance? Is
Yes.
a big question.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
What is the line on this game?
Right now the line sits at Dallas -7.5. I'm jumping on the Raiders if Lamb doesn't play.
And Kevin Anthony says Pollard gets some fantasy points Thursday, so it looks like he's going to have the ball in his hands. Yeah,
I would think so. The Cowboys need to run the football. It opens everything up for Dak Prescott. And if he doesn't have Cooper out there and Lamb, you're definitely going to have to run the football and give Prescott some time. The reason the run is so effective with the Cowboys, their offensive line is great. They can do off the play action, and you don't want to get Dak hurt.
You've always been heavy, really, really strong on their run game.
Yeah, I mean, because you pay Zeke all this money to run the football, and the Dallas Cowboys are built around that. They got a strong offensive line. They need to control the ground game and the clock. Dak Prescott's awesome.
So are you calling Dak a running quarterback?
No, he's not a running quarterback, but he's definitely a play action quarterback.
Yeah, he is.
He's not a Pat Mahomes. He's not as accurate as Pat Mahomes. He doesn't throw the prettiest of footballs. He's not the best quarterback out there. So they have to run the football.
Ooh, Garrett, if you are out there, that's some fighting words right there. He loves the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I do give the Raiders a chance in this football game, and if the Raiders actually pull off a victory in this game, you're going to have a lot of controversy going on with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah,
because they haven't played real well the last few weeks.
Two games that they've had not great off of the bye. And the last game is going to be the Bills versus the Saints. Bills, oh my goodness, identity 6-4. Ooh. And the Saints are another 5-5 team. So can Josh Allen and Buffalo really get things going again? They have completely fallen apart at all angles.
This could be the game of the day. I think this could be exciting. Yeah. I think this could be a really exciting football game.
Oh, I think the Cowboys versus the Raiders is going to be good.
If Lamb's not playing and Cooper's out, I don't like. I mean, it's not going to be that exciting. It could be a good game, but I don't know.
I think it's going to be a good game.
This Saints-Bills game has potential to be 45-44. This has a lot of interesting players in it. Depending on Alvin Kamara, if he comes back,
he did not practice today.
It's going to be a fun, interesting game, depending on if Alvin Kamara can get out there. The line right now sits at Buffalo -6, 5-5 Saints, 6-4 Bills. Woo! Man, I don't know. I don't know. It's Josh Allen, right? Josh Allen hasn't played extremely well. He's another one of those not the most accurate quarterback.
You know what's crazy? He signed that crazy deal this offseason too. So they expected him to deliver and keep delivering for them. Was it a 5-year deal, I believe? 4 or 5-year deal. But yeah, the Bills
can be really wild.
Have completely lost who they are.
No running ability at all, and Josh Allen stopped running the football too. If Josh Allen starts throwing the ball and he's wild, you're going to get 2 interceptions. That's just the way he is. That could be a really fun game. Simeon, it depends on if Kamara's back. All these games have really interesting storylines, except for the first one. There's just really not a story.
Since
two bad football teams.
Yeah, 2 bad football teams, pretty much. Since I was not here last night, we got a couple minutes. Can I just say something about one of the games this weekend?
Let's go.
The Texans finally broke their 8-game losing streak. They finally won. Woo! Against the Tennessee Titans. I mean, a divisional matchup in Tennessee. That's exciting for Houston, regardless of how much you don't like the team. And like I said, today they just released Phillip Lindsay. But, they really got to Ryan Tannehill. The weather was terrible, which I know you like to allude to a lot. But I just have to say I'm happy for this team, for Tyrod Taylor jumping into the end zone. He looked like freaking Superman out there, and I'm proud of him.
I said they were going to win before the game because Tyrod Taylor had
as in Houston?
Yeah, Houston.
Okay.
I thought they would win because Tyrod Taylor was back. He was finally 100%, and he had a full week to practice. Yeah. And Tennessee doesn't have Derrick Henry. Now they got a couple of games on film with Tannehill without Derrick Henry. And so the defensive coordinator for the Texans did a really, really good job, the old Chicago Bears head coach. And they played a good football game in the rain. Stopped Tannehill, made him overthrow the football. I think they had, two interceptions or 4 interceptions?
Yeah, they had 5 turnovers. 4 of them were picks.
Yeah, so defense played really good. I thought the Texans had a good chance in that game. And I thought from the very beginning of the season that if Tyrod Taylor was healthy, that the Texans could win 5 or 6 games. And that's where, I think they would.
Well, they got 2.
Yeah.
They got 3 more to go.
I think they would have if, if Tyrod was healthy. I don't know if they're going to win 3 of their next, 6, 7 games they have left. But the Texans should have won 5 or 6 this year. And look, they're competitive when Tyrod Taylor is healthy.
It's I feel like it's a bit of the Rockets. It's all new, regardless of their age. I mean, they're so new. Yeah. This team is. They're changing players day in and day out, week in, week out. But another news that came out today was Kendall Graveman from the Houston Astros is now traded to the White Sox for $25 million. And I feel like the Astros just acquired him right before the postseason from Seattle. He cried coming to Houston, and now he's gone again. And Enrique's wearing a White Sox hat.
Hey, I didn't know it was going to happen.
You are an Astros fan. What are you doing?
I love hats.
Kendall Graveman, incredible setup pitcher, but I just had a weird feeling he did not want to be on that team.
He
just didn't look like he embraced the Astros either uniform or something. He just didn't like it. I don't think he liked the way it went down. I don't think he liked that at all. And so he never really fit in. Good for him for getting $25 million. But we got Verlander for $25 million.
Yeah, I know.
And so that pushes all the starters back, which means we really don't need Graveman anymore.
So culturally, you don't think it was a good fit with the Houston Astros? To me, it just seems like he wasn't playing his best ball. He wasn't throwing great.
Yeah, I mean, he had a few good innings, but it just, you never saw excitement with him with the team.
Yeah,
that's everybody
true. That's
getting excited,
very true.
Whatever. But
do you think Justin Verlander is going to be impressive next season?
Oh yeah, he'll be up there for the Cy Young.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Justin Verlander. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't.
That is, yeah. People keep telling me that. I'm just like a little bit iffy, but they keep saying, Roger Clemens got a Cy Young at 42. So.
All right, guys, we want to thank y'all for paying attention, watching on all the platforms: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok, wherever you're at, man. Thank you guys for watching. We've got another show tomorrow night. I will be back here. Lauren, unfortunately, has to go
work the Rockets game.
She'll be at the 1 and 20.
Please,
the 1 and 27
send them their
Rockets.
best luck. Send them your best luck, please.
44 million sitting on the bench.
They need your prayers. Please send a win to the Rockets.
They're tanking, and you want them to tank. Get rid of John Wall, 44 million. But hey, we got to thank some people. I want to thank Smarter Mortgage, David Carrier over there, 281-650-0648. Pocket full of cash. He'll hook you up. Construction Concepts, man, they build stuff. Man, call them. Also, Fitz Roofing, FITZ roofing.com.
All right. Thanks so much to VYPE Media, VYPE.com. They put together all of this setup, our production, and our shows each and every week. And we got to thank Hybrid Technologies Group, of course, called Roy Stanton. He is the man over there. And I think that about wraps us up.
Happy Thanksgiving, Lauren. We will see you on Monday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, she'll be back Monday.
Come here, guys.
Oh, we got the kids in here.
We got the kids in here. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
See you guys tomorrow night, 6 o'clock on SWB.
Yeah. So you're going to make a little appearance.